My name is Shasikumar, and I'm a fitness coach in Naluri. A very good afternoon to everyone. What does weight consist of? And what causes the fluctuation of weight? Right, so when we talk about weight, we should know what it is made of. A normal body usually consists of a few things, right? So for an average healthy human body, for a female, the composition should be around 36% muscle tissue, 12% essential fat, 15% storage fat, 12% bones, and the rest about 25% on everything else. However, for men, the readings are around 45% muscle tissue, 3% fat, 12% storage fat, 15% bones, and 25% of others, right? Which includes organs, water, and whatnot. For people who are aged usually around 20 to 39, for women, they should aim somewhere about 21% to 25%, or more ideally 23% of body fat percentage. A man should ideally have around 8 to 19%. For people around 40 to 59 years old, a woman should fall between 23% to 33%, and men should fall somewhere around 11% to 21%. And if you are aged 60 to 79, it is slightly more higher, whereby for women, you have about 24% to 35% of body fat, and men should have somewhere around 13% to 24%. So what makes our weight fluctuate? Is there some variables to it? So why does it change all the time, right? So yes, obviously, right? There's a few things that actually ensures that your weight stays consistent or fluctuate. The first one would be muscle mass. So what about muscle mass that makes your weight fluctuate? As we grow older, we go through a process called sarcopenia. So sarcopenia is the process where the body actually loses muscle mass because it is not used consistently, right? So sometimes when we see old people, we see that their legs are curved outwards. We see that they have kyphosis, which is a process that makes your head lean forward and your shoulders rounded forward, right? So these are all symptoms of sarcopenia, which is when people do not have enough muscle mass to sustain their body. So the longer it gets, the lesser muscle you have in your body, and you lose a lot of weight because of that. But there is a bad side out of it, right? So maybe your weight does not go up, but when you lose a lot of muscle, you start gaining a lot of fat mass. Why? It is because of our thermogenesis process that allows our fat to function properly. And also, when you have higher muscle mass and less muscle tissue, your body do not utilize the stored fat effectively. The only way that your body is able to utilize fat effectively is when you have sufficient muscle mass to use this energy as a fuel of source for these muscles to function properly. So what else determines the fluctuation of your weight? Water. So for those who consistently drink enough water, you have a good percentage of water in your body. Usually we would want somewhere around 20% to 30% of water, right? And with that, that contributes to a greater weight gain. And for those who do not drink enough water, you probably experience a drop of weight very, very slightly, right? And that could actually fluctuate every now and then. You could measure yourself in the morning and you find yourself slightly lighter. And when you measure yourself in the afternoon, even without food and just drinking water, you would find yourself slightly heavier, right? Finally, what also matters is your bone density, right? When we do not do exercises which are impactful enough, we create a bone which is very brittle, right? And a brittle bone and a low density bone will actually reduce in weight. For those people who exercises frequently, their bone density is very packed and very dense, right? Hence, they would look a lot lighter but weigh a lot more due to this. So now let's understand what we need to do to manage our weight effectively. In order for us to know that, we need to know why is it important for us to manage our weight, right? Being overweight is like having extra weight from your muscle, bone, fat, or water, right? So that means you have more of all of this, you would seem to be overweight when we test your BMI. However, being obese means that you have a higher amount of body fat compared to bone, water, and muscle. So BMI, or body mass index, which is usually used to measure if someone is overweight or obese. Reaching and maintaining a healthy weight is important for overall health, and it can help you to prevent and control many diseases and conditions. If you are overweight or obese, you are at higher risk of developing serious health problems, including heart disease, high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, gallstones, breathing problems, and definitely certain cancers as well. That is why maintaining a healthy weight is so important. It helps you lower your risk for developing these problems, helps you feel good about yourself, and gives you more energy to enjoy life. We would wonder, how would being obese impact on our bodily functions? Right. Each body part is linked to the next one in line. Example, the thigh bone to the knee bone to the leg bone, and so on, right? A healthy weight sets the stage for bones, muscle, brain, heart, and others to play their parts smoothly and efficiently for many years to come. Excess weight, however, especially obesity, diminishes almost every aspect of health, from reproductive and respiratory function to memory and mood. Now, let's look at its impact on other health risks as well. Obesity increases the risk of several debilitating and deadly diseases, including diabetes, heart disease, and some cancers, of course. It does this through a variety of pathways, some as straightforward as the mechanical stress of carrying extra pound, and some involving complex changes in hormones and metabolism. Obesity decreases the quality and the length of life and increases individual, national, and global healthcare costs, right? So, how does this metabolism and weight loss work together? So, metabolism plays a major role in the maintenance of a healthy weight. Besides calorie restriction, exercise is a significant metabolism booster. Exercise helps build lean muscle mass and increases the metabolic rate to utilize more energy in maintaining it. How to successfully manage your weight loss once you have lost it, right? So we have all these ideas on how to do it. We also need to know how to keep it off. The most common question that everybody asks would be, what should I do? Should I diet or should I exercise? Of course, dieting seems to be the most obvious answer if you want to lose weight. We gain weight when we take in more calories than we need. Therefore, managing energy input and expenditure naturally to be the key to weight loss. While most fad diets recommend calorie restriction, individuals must be cautious as this is usually not sustainable. After some time, people tend to revert back to their old habits. Even worse, the sense of deprivation leads them to eat more, causing them to put back all the weight they had initially lost. So, if dieting alone doesn't lead to sustainable weight loss, would exercise solely do the trick? Well, not quite. According to a study published in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research, as part of the study, researchers from Arizona State University in the United States enlisted 81 overweight women to join a fitness program. During the 3 months long study, the women engaged in treadmill workouts 3 times per week, but their eating habits were not monitored. 3 months later, 70% of the women gained more fat mass during the program, despite their increased activity. While the study could not conclude the exact reasons for the weight gain, researchers believe that the participants who gained weight consumed more food and increased their calorie intake. This was because they believed that they had burned enough calories to justify the extra food. In short, the safest and most sustainable way to reduce weight is a combination of mindful nutrition practices and regular exercise in long term. Let's look at what rest is and how it actually affects our sleep, and overall, how does all this affect weight loss? Now, you certainly might not have thought that sleep and rest are two different things. Although they aim for the same thing, to relax the body, both physically and mentally, they are two different processes. While resting is a state where our body is chilled out from stress routine, it is a kind of activity that a person frequently does in order to regain his lost freshness or energy. However, sleep is a kind of altered conscious state where the body shuts down all physical and mental work. Instead, it only carries out the necessary metabolic functions like respiration, blood circulation, etc. While sleeping, our body is in the repair mode. All the vital components revitalize and the cells continually rejuvenate during sleep. Whereas, resting is a very versatile action. This can vary from person to person, place to place, or purpose to purpose. While resting, the body is conscious but it also tries to calm all its senses and get rid of any sort of stress. Research found that when dieters cut back on sleep over a 14 days period, the amount of weight they lost from fat dropped by 55%, even though their calories stayed equal. They felt hungrier and less satisfied after meals, and their energy was zapped. Sleep deprivation makes you metabolically groggy, University of Chicago researchers say. Within just 4 days of insufficient sleep, your body's ability to process insulin, which is a hormone needed to change sugar starches and other food into energy, goes awry. Insulin sensitivity, the researchers found, dropped by more than 30%. And here is why that's bad. When your body doesn't respond properly to insulin, your body has trouble processing fat from your bloodstream. So what it does, it ends up storing them as fat. So it's not so much that if you sleep, you lose weight, but that too little sleep hampers your metabolism and contributes to weight gain. Let's look at what are the current trends and their implication. The first thing that I would like to touch here would be fat diet programs. A lot of people do not know what they are, and they do not know what it does to them. So let's look at them. Let's understand what they are, and let's try to understand that not one size fits all. Fat diets are plans sold as the best and fastest approach to losing weight. Yet, some of these diets involve eliminating foods that contain necessary nutrients that your body needs to maintain good health. Some diets claim particular hormones are to blame for weight gain, suggesting that food can change body chemistry. Often, these diets aren't well researched, or the research is faulty. However, there are some fat diets that have been found to produce weight loss in high quality, and this is also within a controlled study. What's more, these diets can be healthy, well balanced, and sustainable. Here are 3 famous fat diets that possibly could work. Number 1, Atkins diet. I'm pretty sure a lot of you have heard of Atkins diet. Atkins diet is a diet that asks you or gets someone to go on a very low carb and high protein and fat. And we also have keto diet. Keto diet is something which is a little bit more extreme compared to Atkins diet, where the percentage of carb taken in is extremely low. It's lower than 10% per day of your carbohydrate requirement, right? And having this kind of diet would keep your insulin level low, and it also means that the energy is utilized regularly and not stored as fat. Another famous one that we usually see would be the paleo diet. So what is paleo diet? Paleo diet is a diet that encourages someone to eat like our ancients, right? So you eat on varieties of plant and varieties of meat, right? So this is pretty much what paleo diets tell you. We also have some other famous diets at the moment. We have intermittent fasting. It's a type of fasting. It's a type of diet that a lot of people would want to practice. So intermittent fasting allows you to go on a non-eating phase of about 16 hours and an eating phase for about 8 hours, but there is no restriction to the type of food that you eat. So common misconceptions and myths that you need to know about losing weight. A radical exercise regime is needed to lose weight. This is the most common thing that I hear. As a fitness coach, many people ask me, how many sit-ups do I need to do to lose my belly fat? Well, this is not the scenario, as weight loss determines on total energy in and total energy out, which also means any type of exercise, as long as you are using more calories than what you take in, would then lead to a sustainable weight loss. The second thing that I usually hear is, healthier foods are more expensive. Well, eggs are healthy. So it's not so much about the food that you take, but it's the way you prepare your food to eat. So we can get greens from our market, we can get eggs from our market, lean meat, chicken breast. All these are things that you can get for a cheap price and affordable price, I would say, and it's highly available in many places. It is how you cook it that really matters. If you want to deep fry your chicken, of course, boiling your chicken is a lot more healthier. If you want to fry your vegetables, of course, making light soup is a lot better, right? And what else do I hear commonly? Carbs make you put on weight, right? So don't eat rice. This is something that I have been told when I was so much more younger. The more rice you eat, the bigger you're going to get. You're going to put on weight. And this is not true, right? So let me just put into perspective. A scoop of rice has the same amount of calorie as a slice of bread. So I hear this a lot when people say, I don't eat rice, but I just eat bread. So how can you have lesser energy when the energy for a scoop of rice is equivalent to the energy that you can get in a slice of bread, right? So it is absolutely a myth, and we can eat rice. The next one that I usually hear, restricting food greatly is the best way to lose weight. So I go on a diet. I don't eat a lot of food. I don't eat my ice cream. I don't eat my rendang. I don't eat my laksa. I'm just gonna eat very little food throughout the day. I probably have 2 slices of bread, and that's all I'm going to eat throughout the day. So this is not the right way of going through it, because restricting too much of food in your body will shut down a lot of your system, will make you feel fatigued, and reduces your productivity greatly. A lot of people come up to me and try to sell some supplements, right? So they say that if you take this supplement, it's going to speed up metabolism. And they also say that the reason why it speeds up metabolism because it contains certain extract of certain food. Oh well, metabolism is caused by activity which is using high amount of energy by a sustainably huge muscle mass, right? Which means if you do not have the muscle mass and the activity, your metabolism rate will be low regardless. We also have heard about slimming pills. We heard that, if you take the slimming pills, it's actually good for you and you can lose a lot of weight, right? But are slimming pills safe to use for fat loss? So what slimming pills usually do is that they take out hunger from you. They suppress your hunger, which makes you take lesser calorie, hence you start losing weight, right? And another common one that I hear would be low-fat food are healthier choice to lose weight. So my wife goes to the supermarket. She takes every single milk, she turns the back to the label, and she looks at the label. She looks at the label and she chooses the milk that has the lowest percentage of fat. However, the total calorie for that milk is so much more greater than other milk which has higher percentage of fat, right? So, which also means that she is going to put on weight rather than losing weight. So, higher fat percentage in your food does not determine you losing weight, right? And who here have stopped eating snacks? They say that if I stop eating snacks, if I stop eating snacks at night, if I stop eating at night at all, then I'm going to start losing weight. Well, this is also another myth. Again, it does not contribute to lower calorie intake, thus fat loss might not happen. The next thing that we have to remember, I believe a lot of us have heard that people coming to us saying that drinking water would help you lose a lot of weight. So the more water you drink, the more weight you lose. Well, water is certainly 0 calorie. It could contribute somehow towards weight loss, because if you consume a lot of water, you keep yourself full, hence you do not have the urge to eat, right? Which means it could contribute, but just by drinking water and eating the same amount of food that you eat before having high amount of water will not contribute towards weight loss at all. With this, let us look at what are the guidelines. Let us look at how we can actually manage weight loss better, right? Over the long term, it's smart to aim for losing about 0.5 kgs to 1 kg of fat per week. Generally, to lose this, you need to have a deficit of 500 calories to 1,000 calories more than you consume each day through a low-calorie diet and regular physical activity. One of the most important things that we have to look at when obesity is concerned is cardiovascular disease. Obesity is associated with an increased risk of developing cardiovascular disease, or commonly known as CVD, particularly heart failure and coronary heart disease. The mechanisms through which obesity increases CVD risk involves changes in the body composition that can affect hemodynamics and alters heart structure. Pro-inflammatory cytokines produced by this adipose tissue itself, which can induce cardiac dysfunction and can promote the formation of atherosclerotic plaques. When obesity and heart failure of coronary heart disease coexist, individuals with class 1 obesity presents a more favorable prognosis compared to individuals who are normal or underweight. Now let's think about how we can maintain weight loss over a long period of time. The strategies that encourage weight loss also play an important role in maintenance. Support system used effectively during weight loss can contribute to weight maintenance. According to National Weight Control Registry, 55% of registry participants used some type of program to achieve their weight loss. Here in Naluri, we provide the same support system. You can reach out to us via the app. You can speak to our dietitians on how to manage your diet perfectly well. You can also speak to me, a fitness coach, who would be able to suggest some activities or exercise that you can actually do when you are free. That leads us to the second point, which is the physical activity. Physical activity plays a vital and essential role in maintaining weight loss. Studies shows that even exercise that is not rigorous, such as walking and using the stairs, definitely has a positive effect on weight loss. Activity that uses approximately 1,500 to 2,000 calories per week is recommended for maintaining weight loss. Adults should try to get at least 40 minutes of moderate to vigorous level physical activity at least 3 to 4 times per week. Now, diet and exercise are vital strategies for losing and maintaining weight. 94% of the registrants that I spoke about earlier in the National Weight Control Registry increase their physical activity. Once the desired weight has already been reached through this increased activity and proper diet, the gradual addition of about 200 calories of healthy, low-fat food to daily intake may be attempted for 1 week to see if weight loss continues. If weight loss does continue, additional calorie of healthy food may be added to the daily diet until the right balance of calories to maintain the desired weight had been determined. It may take some time and record keeping to determine how adjusting food intake and exercise levels affect weight. A nutritionist can definitely help us with this, and our dietitians can definitely do so too. Continuing to use behavioral strategies is necessary to maintain weight. Be aware of eating as a response to stress, and do reach out to our psychologists who would be able to help you with managing your stress a lot better. Also, use exercise, activity, or meditation to cope instead of eating. You can reach out to either myself or any other fitness coaches for this matter. A temporary return to old habits does not mean failure. Paying attention to dietary choices and exercise can help maintain weight loss. Identifying the situations, such as negative moods and interpersonal difficulties, and using alternative methods of coping with such situations rather than eating can prevent returning to old habits. With that, I would like to end the talk for today.